Hi all, this is Danielle from Bubbly Ducky. I am not going on Facebook Live today. I am just making a regular old video, and that is because I'm using a process that I don't typically use. And so I want to have the comfort of, first off, being able to take breaks if things need time to set up, and also being able to royally screw up and not have it on video. So if this goes really bad, you won't see this. I'll just have to make another attempt. But this is called the heat transfer method. So instead of, typically what I do is I put all of my oils in one container. I heat them up real good. I let them cool down a little, so that way they're nice and homogeneous, but they're not real hot. They're room temperature. I also, before that, I would make my lye solution, let that cool down to room temperature, and then bring it all together. So this is a little bit of a faster method. I have my liquid oils here. So over here I have olive oil, avocado oil, castor oil. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Possibly one other thing that I can't remember. And I have my hard oils over here, which is really not totally hard, as you can see, but anything that requires a little bit of melting to get all the fatty acids liquid. So over here I have shea butter, cocoa butter, palm oil, and coconut oil, which is a total of 7. So yes, I got everything there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my super hot lye solution, mix it in with the hard oils, get that going real good so that they melt down. And then once those are melted, I'm going to cool them with the liquid oils here. See how it goes. I'm hoping that things don't get too thick too fast. So I'm going to be making coconut dream today. And I have all sorts of plans, but you know, best laid plans of mice and men go out the window when you use a different method that you don't normally use, right? We'll see. Alright, so I'm adding my lye solution to my hard oils. Get that out of here. I'm going to mix these up real good here and just get them melting. It's not going to be an instantaneous thing. So all the little, I don't know if you can really see. Right now, the coconut oil and the palm oil are pretty much mixed together. You can't tell one from the other. The little white, almost fluffy looking chunks you see floating around are shea butter, and then the itty bitty pellets are cocoa butter. Everything is added for a reason. So cocoa butter and shea butter both feel really amazing on your skin. Super moisturizing, super conditioning. Really more conditioning than moisturizing, really. The palm and coconut both have reasons as well. Coconut is very cleansing. It also gives a real good lather. So really the soapiness of the soap comes primarily from the coconut, but I don't add too much because too much can be drying. We don't want that. We want it to feel good. And then the palm makes the bars nice and hard. That helps them to last a good long time in your shower instead of just melting. I frequently tell the inspirational yet horrific story of the very first time I got handmade soap, and it felt super awesomely wonderful, and then only was good for two uses. It was this massive bar of soap, cost about 15 bucks, no fun designs or anything like that, just really good smelling soap with really good ingredients, but they didn't let it cure long enough, or ooh, excuse me, just a moment. Oh, excuse me. I don't know if they didn't let it cure long enough or if they just used way too many soft oils. Their ratio wasn't quite right. But either way, it was absolutely wonderful for the whole 2 times I got to use it, and then it was done. So I really try hard to make sure that these bars are nice and hard so that they feel great on your skin, but they also, you can use them for a considerable amount of time before you have to worry about replacing them. So the big bars, the hard bars. All right, it's looking good and melted here. I'm not seeing anything pop up as I mix through this. So we're gonna add our liquid oils now. Stay. Okay. Scrape this thing out real good. Get all those wonderful oils. Also showing off my brand new spatula. Super excited because it's a one-piece spatula. I don't know if you guys know this, but many of the spatulas you can get, all of the ones at dollar stores, they are, which is where I usually get things, they're two parts, they're two pieces. The spatula part and the handle part come apart, and they work just fine. They just stink to have to clean. So this one is super sturdy and all one piece, and I am so excited to not have to try to scrub out inside of that little gap. It's the little things, right? All right. So at this point, we have all of our oils, we have our lye. I want to make sure that this is very well combined, but still pretty runny. So if I don't mix this enough, then the oils and the lye will start to separate and we don't have soap. We just have two separate solutions. If I mix it too much, we will have really thick, hard soap really fast, and then you can't really design with it. You just have to smush it into something and hope it looks all right. Which is why, because this is a method that I don't normally use, normally for this process I'd be using my blender, little immersion blender, but I'm just using my whisk right now because I don't usually use this method, and so I don't want it to move too fast on me, and my whisk I can be sure I won't have that problem. I might eventually give it a quick couple of shots with the immersion blender, but I'll start here. I'm going to be making a tall and skinny soap today, so taller and thinner and a little deeper than most of the other soaps I make. So that's the mold you're seeing right next to me. Usually you'll see that I'm using either a purple or a pink mold. This one's white. And my husband's, so the mold is made to stand by itself. This the white thing on the inside, just this part here, this middle part. It's meant to be used by itself, but the sides bow out, so the soap looks really funky if you just use it by itself. So my husband got a bunch of 2x4 scraps and made me a makeshift mold to put it in. So the bars look a lot nicer. The mold itself is a little funky looking, but it does its job well. And then all the stuff you see on, that's just soap. This is just soap. It's just really hard to get that off of a 2x4. But it's okay because it's clean. That's kind of the point, right? So I am kind of missing out this time. I finally figured out how to be able to see comments while I'm creating a video when I do this on live. And now I'm just talking to myself because I'm not on live. So I'm kind of missing you guys. Leave comments, please. I will watch them. I will respond to them, even though this isn't live. It's always nice to be able to have that interaction. I really, really enjoy it. You know, I really like going to craft fairs, or, you know, being a vendor at a craft fair. Really enjoy that because I get to actually talk to people. E-commerce is wonderful. It gives a lot of opportunities. You know, it allows me to display products no matter what season. It allows me to connect with people all over the country. It could allow me to connect with people all over the world if I decide to go that route. So lots of great things about e-commerce. However, one of the things that it takes away is that person-to-person interaction. So, you know, at a craft show, I can talk to people all day long, and it's really nice. And unfortunately, there really aren't many of those right now. Everything's kind of shut down. They're constantly being canceled. It's almost scary to sign up for one because if it gets canceled, sometimes they get refunded and sometimes they don't. So, yeah, it's a little on the scary side to get those on the schedule. But, so yeah, it's missing out on being able to talk to people about all this stuff, and I really appreciate it when you guys get involved on Facebook because it's a nice supplement. I get to actually know you all. And then for anybody who winds up watching this on YouTube, same things apply. Same thing applies. So I typically, I record live on Facebook, and then I download the video and put it on YouTube. At least that's what I'm trying to get good at doing. So if you are watching on YouTube, same thing. I want to get to know you. I want to hear from you. Assuming that you're interested in soap, because, you know, YouTube. All sorts of other things going on out there. Alright, this is looking pretty good. I'm actually feeling really good about this. So one thing with a whisk is that I'm always afraid that it's not quite enough, blended enough. But I feel good about this right now. So I'm going to pour it off. I have 4 little pitchers. So what this is, we're going to have 3 layers and then a drop swirl. This is actually being done as an entry for the soap challenge this month. So there's a soap challenge club. They have a contest once a month. It is worldwide, so we get to, again, that camaraderie. You get to talk to people all over the world. And yes, it's a competition, but there's also just a lot of, it's another C word that I'm looking for and I can't think of it. I'm thinking correlation. That's not the word. Oh, I hate when my brain loses words. That is super, super frustrating. Collaboration. There we go. Collaboration. That's what I'm going for. It is a competition, but there's also a lot of collaboration in that people will say, well, I'm trying to get this and I can't get it just right. What do you guys think? And it's nice. Everybody, you know, wants to win, but they're also working so that everybody can learn and become better at what we do. So it's really exciting. I try to participate every month. At least for this year I started in January, and I think I've participated in almost all of them at this point this year. I might have missed one. I think I might have missed one. And so this is for that. I'm actually going to be making 2 soaps for it, and I will submit whichever one I like more. So you will see chocolate covered strawberry being made soon. But the rules for this one are that you need 3 layers and a drop swirl. For the beginners category, that's all you need, and that's all you can have. For the advanced category, which I am required to do because I have been making soap for longer than a year, for the advanced category, there has to be at least one other something in it. So that something could be a different type of swirl, or just any other number of, I don't want to say embellishments because they specifically list embellishments as something else, but it just has to have some other design technique. There we go, technique. And then it can have more than 3 layers. That's definitely going to need a little more. Alright, so what I'm going to do is these are still pretty liquid, and they definitely need to be blended more, but I'm going to blend them up as I go so that nothing gets thicker than I want it to before I'm ready for it. Get my spatula out again. Woohoo! This really is a nice spatula. No complaints thus far. So this one has a bit more in it because it's going to be for the drop swirl, and which is just the last layer. And because it's the last layer, I want to make sure that if there's any extra batter, it winds up in that one, so that the others are pretty even. All right, I'm going to keep track of my dishes over there. So I'm going to keep that one separate. Move this guy over. I'm doing slanted layers, so I have another little piece of wood under here, just some scrap wood. So it's going to go one layer this way, then a flat, then the drop swirl. All right, we're going to start here with, going back and forth on these colors so many times that I'm trying to remember what I decided on. But I'm pretty sure I decided on white. All right, so this is titanium dioxide. Let's make that pretty and white. I don't use white very often. I'm much more of a vibrant or dark person, but it's coconut. It needs to have that white coconut look to it. All right, and I need my scale. I'm going to, actually, I'm not going to use my scale yet. I'm going to blend those up a bit. Then I'm going to add my fragrance oil, which is what I need the scale for. Blend a little more and pour it in. So this I do want to be pretty thick. Sorry, give me a second. Got to bang out the air bubbles. Oh my goodness. All right, I think we're good. What was I saying? Can't even have you remind me. Comments are not on yet. All right. There we go. So this I do want to be pretty thick. I want this one to be pretty thick because I want it to set up firm enough so that I can flip sides and not have it move on me. All right. Starting to thicken up a bit. These are going to be textured layers. If they were going to be nice smooth layers where I want them super straight, then I would not be blending them so thick. I would just wait longer between layers. But as it stands, because they're going to be textured, nice and thick works. I don't have to worry about them pouring flat. All right, now I want to add that fragrance oil. And here, I'll give you an idea of how thick this is at this point. Hopefully you can see this. So you see how it's leaving like peaks in there, kind of like a meringue. And I'm going to have to beat out the air bubbles again, so excuse me, sorry. Just wanted you to see what I'm trying to achieve here. All right, a little harder to beat out the air bubbles when it is thick. Okay. Let me tell you, this coconut cream fragrance smells so amazing. I already have a lotion and a sugar scrub that match this for sale. I've had to remake them a couple of times already, including last week. They smell so good. This was one, it was actually a request. Sorry, trying to make sure I get the right amount in here. There we go. This was a request, and I put it off for a little bit because I hesitate to take too many requests, because if only one person likes it and I buy a whole bunch of something, that doesn't really work out in the long run. But I'm really glad I decided to eventually do this one. So yeah, don't be discouraged about giving me requests. I want requests, recommendations, just generally to know what you guys are into. I just can't always make everything, at least not right away. So I have to go through some of what I have first, at least. typically right before I use a brand new fragrance oil, which this is, I've used it in things other than soap, but I haven't used it in soap yet. Typically, the first thing I would do is double check with my supplier to make sure, which in this case is Brambleberry, which is one of my all-time favorites for fragrance oils. They're a bit more expensive than a lot of other places, but they are worth it. They are so rich. But usually one of the first things I do is check to see whether the fragrance oil will make my soap accelerate, which means get real thick real fast, or discolor, which typically means turn brown. And I did not check this, so this could be a really different design. We'll find out. Alright, that is very thick. So I'm going to now pour my first layer. Oh yeah, that's super thick. I'm going to pour my first layer in. Okay, just get everything off of here if I can. Gosh, it smells so good. Uh-oh. My blender is doing something weird here. The blade went up into it, which is not supposed to happen. Let's see. Hopefully I can adjust that, because that's going to be a problem. Alright, set that here. Thankfully I do have a second blender. It's ugly, but it does its job. So if this one's dead, I can pull that out. Okay. Trying to get into every nook and cranny. I'm just trying to get it all in, and then I will kind of adjust where it's sitting. So this particular soap is going to be white and a couple of different varieties of brown, which is really abnormal for me. Like I said before, I really like color, and I really like dark, so especially really vibrant colors against the dark primary colors, such as primary, like as in main, not as in red, yellow, blue, especially black. That is my kind of my typical. But I don't feel like any of that is coconut. You know, I could have done a tropical soap, but I thought, you know, I really just want to do one that is just calm and neutral and screams natural vacation, calm, I don't know. I guess not screams, whispers, gently. Alright. That over there. You start to see my mess pile up at the edge of the screen here. Now I'm just going to shimmy this so that it gets a little more even. Alright, I want that at a pretty good angle. About to bang this a little bit to make sure there's no air bubbles from when I poured it, so excuse me, cover your ears, turn off your volume, 30 seconds maybe. Alright, I bet that shook the screen like crazy, didn't it? Ew. Alright, I really want this to have a good angle, but, oh yeah, it's still a good angle. Okay. It's trying to flip on me, and I do not want that. That would be bad. Okay, so that has to set up a little bit, then I'll texture it. I'm going to actually, I kind of like that texture. Let's see here. I have the spoon I used for shea butter earlier. Not make more dishes than I need. See if I can. I just want to put a little texture in it, nothing too crazy. Oh yeah, that works. All right. Step 2 is going to be a mica line. Just kind of a light sprinkle. So, I have my espresso mica here. Just kind of a deep brown, also from Brambleberry. Alright. I'm going to grab just a little of that. I got my little, like, tea strainer here, maybe. That's probably not what this is. Just a little strainer of some sort. It does the job for this. And I'm just going to sprinkle it over the top. And so, it was a big sprinkle. So when I cut this, this will look like a little line between the layers. And it's really hard to do this on a slanted layer. I'm not going to do a full solid line. I just want to kind of give some definition between the layers. So typically when I film, I'm doing it at night after my daughter's in bed. Currently, she is not only awake, this is, it's about 3 in the afternoon on a Saturday. No, maybe it's 4, I don't even know. But she is currently grounded. And she's working on sentences. And until she's done writing her sentences, she is going to be grounded. But she's a really good kid, but you know, everybody gets a little bit in trouble. However, while I'm writing this video, I hear her giggling out there, so I'm pretty sure that without my supervision, she's super enjoying her ungrounded time. Just a guess, could be wrong. So she's gonna be. I know what's gonna happen next time. Mom, you need to make a soap video, don't you? I think you do. Yeah, you don't want to fall behind on that, right? Pretty sure I just heard snacks opening. Alright, I'm just wiping the side off just a bit. Rubbing alcohol on this. Just cleaning it up a little bit. I'm looking at my other couple of buckets here, and they're not thickening up just yet, which is awesome. I was quite concerned about that. Nothing like having a fun design planned and then having the soap thicken up and you gotta go, well, Guess it's single color, or guess it's just a couple of layers. Quick, mush it in. I tend to celebrate the imperfections of my soap because this is such an imperfect process. It's, you know, it's more abstract than realism, but that one just gets me when it thickens up and I have to completely scrap what I'm thinking of. Alright, that's looking good. That's actually, yeah, I could probably flip that right now and be okay. Okay. Alright, looking good. Excuse me while I grab a couple of extra pictures so I can prepare the next layer here. I take it back. I'm going to grab only one extra picture, and it's a brand new one, so I'm going to tear some plastic. Alrighty, so here's my next little, oh, here we go, here's my next little bit of soap. This is going to have to be split up, so I'm going to, is it separating or anything? No. I'm going to mix this up just a little bit with a little bit of white, and then I'm going to split this off into 3 containers. So one's going to be white, 2 are going to be different shades of brown, and then I'm going to pour them all back together so that they have kind of a swirl within that pot, and then pour them on for the next layer. So this next layer is going to be a bit more liquid, and therefore it probably will take a little more time to set up. So this might even be one that takes enough time that I have to pause this video and start it up again. We shall see. We'll also see if I'm able to correctly do that, because this is the video portion of things is not my strong suit. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is get the fragrance oil. Don't want to forget that. Come on, scale. There we go. I'm pretty sure that children in my living room are currently multiplying. I just heard another knock at the door. If I was live, this might be a call for help. However, I'm not, so I can't. No, I love being the house that all the kids come to. I joke about it, but I really, really enjoy that. I love being the one that has the snacks and the crafts and yells at them, you know. I have a firm belief in if a child is in my home, I'm going to treat them like my child, regardless of if they are or not. Yeah, that's okay. Goodness. Okay, I'm just knocking stuff all over the place. Air bowls do not want to come out on this one. Alright, hopefully that's good. And I'm gonna put the white in this one too. I think I said that before, but I also think I forgot it. Stir it in a little bit first so that that white doesn't plume on me like a big cloud instead of getting stirred in. Now that it's below the surface, And I don't want to mix this one up too much because if I do, it's not going to swirl the way I want it to. I want to get it just enough. Which might even have already been too much. We'll see. Alright, so I got the new one that I just grabbed. I got the one that had the white in it earlier. Oh no, I think that's still good. Alright. Oh, spatula, come here. Thank you. Alright. Got a little bit of the brown mica on it. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Okay. So I want all of these to be roughly even. If I go heavy on anything, it's going to be the white. That is even remotely even. I think both could use a little more. Actually, that's probably pretty good. Can you tell I'm just slightly indecisive? Okay. There's that. And then grab my little measuring spoon over here. And make sure it doesn't have any of my prior colors on it. I'm sorry, I'm doing that thing where I talk way too quiet. I don't know if I'm even being picked up by the mic right now. And this is Magic Mushroom by Nurture Soap. I'm really just putting a very little bit in here. I don't want it to be very dark. Sorry, I'm gotta try to keep things on camera here. And then I'm gonna do a little more of that I think I said espresso earlier. This is cappuccino mica from Brambleberry. It's just a little bit of a different brown. And both of them have the titanium dioxide in as well, which means that they're automatically going to have, they're just going to be lighter. I'm just hand blending these in. This is way too small of a amount to use my blender on. Plus, it's thick enough now that I don't really want to. Plus, I just bought this little whisk and I want to use it. Isn't it cute? I used to have one of these when I was much younger, and I loved it. I would use it for my scrambled eggs. Oh, it's also weirdly flexible. Just make sure this is nice and even. It's kind of a tan. You might already be able to see it. So one's kind of a tan, almost like I can't think of any good comparisons. But one's obviously a lot darker. So this one is a bit warmer and much lighter. This one is deeper, darker, and a bit cooler. Even with the white mixed into it. Oh, yeah, little mix. Used to have when I was a kid. Absolutely loved it for scrambled eggs. It was like the best thing ever. Somebody eventually got rid of it. I think it was Mom. And I was so upset. Like, how am I supposed to make my scrambled eggs without my perfect little whisk? Such a weird thing to care about, but I did. Alright, so now these are both going back into the white. I'm going to pour them in a little like that. I'm trying to make it so that all the browns aren't just sitting on top, which is a little difficult because I did already get it thicker. And I'm also trying to make sure they're not just in their own little spots. So I'm trying to pour from high enough that they'll break in a bit. And now I'm going to give it a bit of a stir, just a little bit. Actually, let me get my different spoon out here. Where is my spoon? There we go. All right, I just want to give it just enough of a stir to bring some of the white from the bottom up onto the top. That way it's decently swirled and not all the whites just sitting on the bottom there. Okay, now I want this layer to be angled the opposite direction. I think this is set up enough that I can do that. I hope that I am right. Oh yeah, that's just fine. That's not going to slide over at all. Okay, here we go. This again is going to be a textured layer, so I'm not worried about pouring it nice and smooth. Does not matter because at the end I'm going to wind up texturing it anyway. I do want to make sure that I get all of it out though. Oh yeah, actually that's thick enough that hopefully that'll set up pretty quick too. And I won't have to worry about waiting for too terribly long. All right, now this last layer is, I don't want it to be too thick because when I do the final pour with the drop swirl, I want the drop swirl to be able to break into it. So I'm going to, I think I'm going to mix that entirely by hand. But first, do I want to do a mica line on this? I think I might, but I hate having to make up my mind. Let's see. First, I gotta be able to texture it, and I don't know that I'm even at that point that I can do that yet. All these layers are just me gearing up for another soap that I'm going to be making in the next few weeks that I am so excited about. I'm not going to even talk about it until it's done because it is going to take so much time. Like I'm talking, this is going to be an 8-hour soap. It's one of those ones where if I sold all of the bars at twice as much money as my normal bars, which is not what I'm going to do, but if I did that, I still probably would not make up even close to the amount of time I'm going to spend on it, but I want to do it so bad that it doesn't even matter. I just really want to make it. So, but not going to say exactly what it is until I have successfully completed it. I've tried it twice now, so I've spent a lot of time on this already. I've tried it twice now with varying degrees of success, but I've run into a few snags. All right, so this one, I'm going to not put the fragrance oil in it yet because the fragrance oil will, without a doubt, it didn't really accelerate those ones too much, but they almost always accelerate at least a little bit. So I'm going to do this without the fragrance oil, just get the color ready, let that set up a little bit. I'm actually going to, do I have something to cover this one with? I need to make a lid for this one. That keeps the heat in, makes it a little better, actually. All right, so this is not the prettiest thing in the world, but it works. So this is a heating pad. I'm just folding it up and putting it over the top just to heat it up a bit, because when it heats up, that actually helps it thicken up. All right, and then this one, I want to be just a light tan. Actually, I might, let me think about this here. Which one do I want to, yeah, okay, I'm going to work on this one first. I'm going to put just a pinch of magic mushroom in here. Just a pinch. Actually, let me see how that looks before I add any titanium dioxide. I'm just going to automatically add the titanium, but I don't know that I'll need it. I think I want a little more brown in this brown. It is a tan, but I think I just want just a little more. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to put just a little bit of the cappuccino in here as well. Just not even a smidge. A few granules, just enough to darken it, because this is a strong mica. Maybe a little more. Maybe I overestimated its strength slightly. All right. I'll just test the thickness of this now. I sincerely doubt it's thick enough that I can do much with it, but I need to know. Ooh. Actually might be okay. Okay, well actually, that is ready for a mica line, and that is what I shall do. Which one do I want to do it with this time? Alright, I did cappuccino on the last one. I'm going to do magic mica on this one, or magic mushroom, excuse me. There's a little cappuccino still in the strainer. I'm not going to get that out. I'm going to let them just blend a little bit. Well, this one doesn't really want to come up of the strainer. There we go. Just had to get a little more forceful with it. It's going to be a very broken mica line. I really don't want one that's super thick. Everything about this I want to be pretty subtle, with the exception of the drop swirl. kind of pretty subtle, but not quite this subtle. There we go. All right. Again, just wipe down the sides. Phew. Tried really hard to position my phone / camera in such a way that I would be very unlikely to get in the way of it. But now I'm like tiptoeing to see over it. So hopefully I'm not getting in the way of it now, because I can't see it. I can just see, or I can't see my screen. I can just see over it right now. Disclaimer, as I have done before, I should definitely be wearing long sleeves. That is something that just to protect your skin, because until the soap is completely saponified, which means until it fully becomes soap, it's not great for your skin. When it saponifies, it's excellent for your skin, but there is a process it has to go through, excuse me, and it hasn't done that yet. So I should be wearing long sleeves, but it's really warm in this room, and if I burn myself, I'll flush it. So I've done worse. But, you know, if you're watching this video, don't think, well, I don't have to wear long sleeves. That is not what I am saying. What I am saying is I'm a bad influence. Don't listen to me. All right, I want this to be pretty liquidy, but this is a bit more than I'm looking for. So I'm going to blend it up just a little. Let's see if I'm ready. Is that going to stay? Oh, it is? Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's exciting. Okay. I did not think that was going to set up that quickly. All right, well, until I'm done blending, I'll put this just in case there's any slide at all, but it's super exciting. That was the main reason that I didn't do this live, was because I was sure, excuse me, bang is about to start, I was sure that I was going to have to wait for that to set up. Oh, well, isn't that perfect? That's like a God moment right there. Put the fragrance oil in. It just moved it right over to me. That's too funny. I would have totally forgotten that completely. I would have remembered much later in the day and gone, oh, darn. I'm also trying not to say any of those substitution words, because my daughter had a big, long talk with me about those, and you know what? She had a point. So, even though she's young, I try to recognize it when there's something that upsets her that, you know, maybe needs to be addressed, even if it doesn't seem like it's big to me. If you think about it, sometimes it actually is. So, anyways, try not to do that. Bad habit. Normal habit for most people, I guess, including myself. So that's why I'm correcting myself. But I definitely would remember much later at night that I didn't have fragrance oil in one layer, and I would have been upset. I mean, with the rest of it, you still would have smelled it just fine, but I would have been upset. That's good. That's good. There it is. A little bit of the original white that got super thick is still on here, so you're going to see little spots of that, which I think might be kind of neat. That's why I didn't completely clean it off. Really happy that my blade is back where it's supposed to be. Just had to push on the other end a little bit. I love the stick blender. I couldn't even tell you what the name is of it. It was an Amazon purchase. That is where I have found has the best stick blenders for the lowest price. So I can't even tell you the name of it, but I really like it. And I did not want it to be dead, because if I don't remember the name of it, I can't buy another one. Okay. This is just going to get poured right in. I don't have to worry about texture for this one because it is going to get pierced by the drop swirl on top. So as low as that is, it is going to fill up when I put the drop swirl in. It's gotten very quiet in my living room, which makes me wonder where my daughter has currently located herself. She should be at the kitchen table working on her sentences. But I'm guessing that's not where I'm going to find her. Okay, I could be wrong. Like I said, she's a good kid. It's just, for any kid, it's hard to be grounded. She's a very good kid. If she is out there, she hears me saying all this, and she's probably thinking, "Ma, stop." But I can't. It's fun to talk about her, and it's fun to be a little embarrassing. Hee hee. Alright, so I'm going to have to work fairly fast with this one. It is thickening up a little bit. It's like at the perfect consistency right now for the drop. So I am going to have a few different colors. Actually, you know what? I might do all 5. I don't know. I'm feeling a little... I can't even think of a good adjective. I was up way too late last night. My sister came into town unexpectedly, which was really awesome. She was not anywhere near me. So it was really awesome to see her. She had to drive about 20 hours to get here. She's just kind of moseying along the country. But what it means is, because we don't get much time together, we were up way late. And I have a bedtime. I definitely have a bedtime. Didn't it used to be that way? Definitely that way now. And I'm feeling it. So if I don't make any sense, I'm blaming her. Katie, it's your fault. Just did it again. Alright. You all are going back in because I need to add the fragrance oil. Excuse me while I just make a mess. Move this over a little bit, actually. Alright, the fragrance oil is looking good. Splitting it up again. Try this again. All right, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. All sorts of fun stuff gonna go on here. I'm not gonna use the titanium dioxide because that really requires me to stick blends, and I can't do that with this amount. So instead I'm just going to put a very small amount of color in one, more in another, because I do want a light and a dark of both browns. And then I'm just going to have, instead of a stark white, it'll be the just the natural soap color for the last bit. So it's not going to be perfectly white, it's going to be more of an off-white. Alright, tiny bit. Bigger bit. See how that looks and adjust as needed. Alright, I'm going to start with this one here because it should be the lightest that has color in it. That's looking nice. Alright, this is the second lightest with color in it. This one's the nice rich magic mushroom color. Oh yeah, definite difference between that and the light one. You're creaking on the outside. I actually might have an audience. So here, a little bit of color, a lot of bit of color. And over here, nice dark color. I actually think I'm going to add a little more to this one. I'm not satisfied with that color. I don't want to add too much because I don't want it to become this, but I do want it to not become this either. There we go. Alright, now we have 5 distinct colors, and we are going to swirl them in. Y'all ready? I'm going to move them all over so I can move my mold back a little bit. That mess is starting to become quite apparent. I'm really good at being messy, if I haven't mentioned that before. Alright, we're going to start with you. I want it high enough that it pierces through. 2 swipes. Alright. Then I think I'm going to do this one. Alright. And let me think here. Higher side should be this one. Okay. Right down the middle and then back over here. I'm going to do the lighter of that one. The plain. And the lighter of the cappuccino. So there's definitely going to be some leftover, which I'll make sample bars with. I'm trying to make sure we have everything in there before I get to that point. Let's start this side this time. Ooh, a little far on that one. All right. This is getting pretty full, and I can tell my table is just slightly, here we go, just slightly uneven. Might need a couple of those. Let me see if I have something a little thicker. It's probably the best I'm going to be able to do. Let's see, will that work? Oh, that actually will work. Okay, it's a little higher than I thought I wanted, but it works. No, I should go with this one. Maybe I'll just do one pass with this one, but then I want some of the dark color up top. Oh yeah, we're starting to overflow a little bit, so I can take this back down. That actually, all right, I'm gonna put just a little tiny stripe of this one so that when I swirl it, we see it. Come on. Little tiny, not enough to overflow. Just enough to get it in that swirl. All right, now I'm gonna let this sit for just a second. Oh, I'm gonna push this back in a little bit. Ooh, it doesn't want to go. These are gonna be bigger bars than I intended. It's gonna be all mounded on top. Okay, so we'll let that sit for a second so it can thicken up just a little before I adjust the top. And then with these others, I'm going to take my little mold over here and I'm going to make some samples. So let's see, what do I want to start with as a sample for coconut? I'm liking this one right here. Don't ask me why, couldn't tell you, don't know. The first thing I'm going to do is put these all together. So let me scrape them all into one pot, because there's no need to be trying to do some crazy individual color swirl into these little itty bitty molds. That's just not gonna work. These ones are not really meant to have some sort of pretty design so much as they're made so that you can, if you get one of these, which these come in the goodie bags, some of them. So this is something that might come in one of the goodie bags if you were to order more than $25. So any order of more than $25 gets a little goodie bag that may include a soap sample, among other things. It also, any order that has 5 or more items, you can get a 6th item for free. And I don't plan on ending that anytime soon, unless I find that there's a good reason to, that that there's another deal that seems like it would make more sense, or I find out, that one's losing money or something like that, which I think is okay, but I think I can make that one work for a long term. All right, we're almost there. So these little samples, you can use them in the bath, you can use them in the shower. They also make really good guest soap or hand soap, since they're a bit smaller. Alright, I think I got about as much of that out as I can. Let's see, put that over there. I changed my mind, I want this one. Alright, and then this one. star. It's not even remotely related to coconut, but it is neat. And then at some point, I'll have one that doesn't quite fill all the way up, which might be this one, and that's usually what I'll use as a tester before I send it out. Like to, even though, you know, these are tried and true recipes, I still like to try each one before I send them out. I happen to have super sensitive skin, so I figure, like, not diagnosably sensitive or anything, like I don't have any derma, oh my gosh. All right, I was up way too late last night to go with that word. I have no actual skin issues that's one would like medicate for or anything, but I do tend to break out or get rashes real bad if something's not quite right. So I figure if I try it on my skin first, I will know very, very quickly if anything is wrong and then not sell it to you guys. Ooh, all right, gonna try to get this over to the other side of my table without spilling it. Woohoo! Success. Okay. All right, I'm just gonna swirl this up a little bit. Actually, let me see if it'll let me push it in at this point. I'd rather push it into the mold and just have bigger bars rather than having to let it solidify like that and then break it off later. All right. And my chopstick, trusty chopstick. I think I'll use this side today. Take it back, I want to use the other side. So this fragrance was actually requested by a man, but I've yet to meet a woman that doesn't like the smell of coconut. Taste, sure, plenty of people don't like the taste, but smell, most people can agree, is fantastic. So I'm pretty sure everybody is going to enjoy this. All right, that is looking good. We are done until I cut this. So today's a Saturday. I do not do anything work related on Sunday. It will be cut on Monday. So that might wind up happening live if I post this video tonight. Or I might combine it with this one. I don't know. We'll see. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, assuming I post this today. I hope you have a fantastic Monday if I don't post this today. And yeah, thanks. Again, Bubbly Ducky. If you want to see anything else, check that out. This will be ready in 6 weeks if you are interested in getting some. Thanks. Bye.